So today on Backstage with Billy, one of my favorite all-time family musicals makes a return because the big tour's on. Annie's heading back to Manchester, and you know what? It's lovely to catch up with. Well, I would say an old face, but he's got a young face, but nevertheless an old favourite, and obviously playing the part of Mr. Warbucks, Alex Bourne. Alex, welcome to Backstage with Billy. Thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure,
Oh,
Billy.
look, where are you? Are you on some tropical island with this shirt on?
Looks it, doesn't it? Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sun's out, so I'm getting out my collection of Hawaiian shirts. So we're off on the road now. So I'm going to iron them all, different one every day. You know what I mean? This is
Fabulous. I love it. So, Alex, tell us about this, like I say, family musical that we just can't seem to get enough of over and over again.
I know. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's coming round again. We've been doing this tour, this version of it since like 2015, which is insane, isn't it? To
Yeah.
think I've been doing this. This is my sixth company of this show. And I'm always just so glad that they asked me to do it again because it's like my favorite job in the world, really. And everyone loves it. Everyone seems to love it. You always leave the theatre feeling uplifted and you feel better coming out than you did going in. And that's, I think, what theatre's all about. And it gets the kids into theatre as well. I mean, a lot of little kids, it's probably the first thing, this and kind of pantomime, the first sort of thing the first experience of a musical. And what a belter to be your first one.
Well, I mean, when you talk about Annie, I mean, like I said, the legendary, the songs, obviously the film, and not so long ago, obviously Jason Manford with the big night of the musicals, taking local drama schools and inviting them on stage. Well, the magic and the appeal that I have to say about Annie is it's the feel good. I mean, for those who don't know, in case you've been living under a stone about the story of Annie, Annie's an orphan. She lives in an orphanage with the tyrannical, legend, that is Miss Hannigan,
Yep.
famous for singing those little girls, little girls. I mean, it's one of those grinding songs that you end up with an earworm singing about.
Oh, yeah.
But nevertheless, Annie comes along and she befriends. I mean, well, explain how she gets involved with Mr. Warbucks.
Well, I think initially, Oliver Warbucks is the richest man in the world at the time. He's a billionaire, and this is 1933, so you can imagine, that he's very, very wealthy, huge businessman, and it's at the time of the Great Depression as well. But he's still managed to, hang on to his money and keep going while everyone else is really struggling. But I think as a PR thing, I mean, you don't really find this out in the show, but I think the backstory of it all is as a PR stunt. He sort of says to his secretary, or his secretary says to him, "Why don't you take an orphan in for Christmas? Just for a week, 2 weeks. Come and let them live at the mansion, and it'll look great. We'll get some pictures, and that's that." And he himself was an orphan. He lost his parents when he was 10. He tells Annie this at some point in the show. And I think he just assumes that all orphans are boys, so he's expecting a boy just to turn up and he can just live there for 2 weeks and get some pictures and great, done. But his secretary, Grace Farrell, invites this little girl, to stay. And of course he doesn't really want anything to do with it particularly. It's a bit of a pain in the neck. But then very, very quickly, Annie just warms his heart, because he's unmarried, he's an unmarried billionaire. And I think he's never had time for any kind of love in his life. Lost his parents when he was very young. He's got no partner, he's got no kids and so, but she just breaks him down and melts his heart. And he just sort of falls in love with her, as a daughter and wants to adopt her. But she is an orphan, but she's technically a foundling because she was left at the orphanage by her parents who said they had to go away. We don't really know what happened to them. Well, we do find out in the end what happened to them, but she's expecting them to come back. She's got this note that was left by her parents that said, please take care of our little girl. We will be back to get her soon. So that's why she's so optimistic. She's saying, and even when she says to Mr. Warbucks, "Thank you for wanting to adopt me, but my parents are going to come back and get me and I want them." And then, of course, that's when I don't want to spoil the story for those who haven't seen it. But
You're already pulling my heart here, my heartstrings.
that's it. That's the sort of setup of it all, really.
I'm filling up here, but obviously it's a musical. and that's the
Yeah,
best part about it. The iconic songs, obviously from Easy Street, The Hard Knock Life,
yeah.
Tomorrow. You don't need, you don't need anything.
Anything but you, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't need
I mean
anything
the
but you.
the songs are timeless, and we all love them. But
Yeah,
nevertheless, the tour, obviously, at the moment that's just happening. How's it gone so far? Because you've only just started it, haven't you?
only just died. It couldn't have gone better apart from the heat last week. We opened in Wimbledon, and it's nice because everyone's, they're all new, and so I've been talking about this show all through rehearsals, and they all know I've done it for years, and now they've finally got to see what effect this show has on people. Because we
Yeah.
had brilliant audiences last week in Wimbledon, and they just all went mad for it. And I think this particular company, no disrespect to previous companies, but we're really gelling. I think everyone's brilliantly cast. The kids just get better and better. I don't know what it is. If they're all going, to stagecoach, or they're all doing training from a young age, but the level, the talent of these kids that we've got this time are incredible. And we got a new dog, Dizzy, who's been brilliant as well. So it's a wonderful new company that are just loving Annie so far, and we can't wait to come to Manchester.
Well, talking of dogs, you've also got Lavoie, obviously
Yeah,
playing the part of Miss Hannigan,
yeah,
because obviously, I mean, no disrespect, obviously disrespect to Chris, but obviously Lavoie, obviously the tyrannical Miss Hannigan.
yeah,
I mean, I think it was last time I saw you perform, it was Craig Revel Harwood,
yeah,
who
yeah,
was Miss Hannigan. And then
yeah.
you've got Claire Sweeney joining the tour as well,
Oh
which
yeah,
is fantastic news
yeah,
because I was with Claire a few weeks ago. But nevertheless, obviously, Annie, the musical, obviously the tour, it's coming to Manchester and it's happening between the 9th and, of course, the 20th of June. Grab your tickets, atgtickets.com/Manchester. Bet your bottom dollar, we're all going to be there because it's going to be a full night. It's going to be a busy show. And it always is a chaotic, I mean, I know you've got the chaos of obviously the musical on stage. Honestly, you want to be sat in the stalls or in the circle when all
yeah,
these kids are in, they're having a meltdown with
yeah,
excitement when obviously Annie or the dog comes on stage and everything else, and the booze and the hissing with obviously our villains in the story. But again, that's
yeah.
doing more spoilers. But nevertheless, Annie coming to Manchester with Alex Bourne playing the part of Mr. Warbucks. And you know something, it's lovely to see you back, by the way, and I can't wait to obviously come and see you on the big press night.
Brilliant.
But nevertheless, I shall catch you soon. Alex, thank you for joining me today on Backstage with Billy.
Cheers, Billy.